All right, so this is page 6, the green study guide, the green packet. Go ahead, you can read it.
Okay, there's a large tree 80 feet from my house. The owners are worried that the tree might hit their house if it fell and want to estimate the height of the tree. In the figure, when the sun's angle of elevation is 50 degrees, the tree casts a shadow of 80 feet, which can be used in the height of the tree.
All right, let's draw a picture here. So we have a tree. Isn't that a beautiful tree? It's beautiful, right? Okay, so we have a tree, and they want to know whether this tree is going to fall on their house, right? Okay. Now, they told us the angle of elevation from the house. So, like, the house is over here. La, 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 here's the house. There you go. They don't want the tree to fall on their house. They actually do this a lot in Georgia, by the way, when they have to... Have you ever seen, like, trees marked, and they're getting ready to chop them down? It's because the tree is either too high or it's too close to a building, and it might have some rot in it, where it has risk of falling during the next storm. Or maybe the roots have come up, so the roots aren't as deep, so if it got really wet, they would fall over. That's why when we have rain and high winds, we get a lot of trees that fall. Just, food for thought there. All right, so let's see what they told us. They told us that the shadow is 80 feet. And a shadow casts it on the ground, right? So when you're walking, your shadow is always horizontally on the ground. So that's here. And they said that the tree... There is a large tree 80 feet from the house. Okay, we got that. Okay, the angle of elevation is 50. So elevation means you're on the ground looking up. If it said depression, then you're looking down from the top. Okay? And let's see. And they're looking for what? Looking for the height of the tree? I have a sine length, an angle, and a variable. Oh, we are. We're doing trig. We're doing opposite and adjacent stuff, right? So I can draw this triangle without the picture. It's just 80, 50, and an X. Very nice. Alright, so it's on top because it's opposite of the 50, right? So we have opposite, and what's the 80? Adjacent, because it's definitely not the hypotenuse, because that's opposite of the right angle. So what trig function uses opposite and adjacent? It's a TOA, the tangent. Well, look at this. There's only one tangent for our answer choice. So it ends up being B. Okay. All right, 22. TOA, that's right. It's SOHCAHTOA. In the circle shown, segment BC is the diameter. Okay, great. And the measure of arc AB is 120 degrees. All right, measure of arc AB, it's the minor arc. Oh, there you marked it. I'm going to make it bigger because I can't read that. What is the measure of angle ABC? So you said A to C is what?
60.
Oh, and what kind of angle is this? Inscribe. So what do we do with the arc? Divided by 2. So we do 60 divided by 2, which is 30. All done. See? All right, this table defines a function with x values making up the domain and y values making up the range. Which equation describes the function? All right. Do you guys remember when I told you how to figure out whether it's linear or quadratic? Remember we talked about the second difference on the car wash problem, I think it was? Or maybe it was the plant problems, one or the other. So this one is a little bit hard to do that on because I don't really have a constant change here, but I do have some things I know. Like this, for example, is what? 0,4. What kind of... It's the y-intercept. And what is this one in red? It's the x-intercept, right? So, and by our answer choices, it's probably quadratic because we all have x squareds, yes? So which one of those has a positive 4 for the y-intercept? Okay. A does. That's a positive 4. And D, is that a positive 4 or a... That's a negative 4. Alright, I actually don't think anything else, because B See how that has an x? So the y-intercept here would actually be 0 because it's constant, which is your 0. Remember for ABC, C is always your y-intercept. That's why we like standard form. So it turns out on here, just A, I ended up not needing the x-intercept, so that was helpful. All right. I see questions like 24 a lot that show up on the SAT and the milestone. And for some reason, you guys have sometimes a hard time doing this with just studying up. So it says, use these functions to answer this question. So look, it tells us to take px and subtract qx. So we're just subtracting. We're using substitution and subtracting those two equations. So where I have px, I'm going to write the equation. And where I have qx, I'm going to write the equation. Why did I write equals when it should be a minus? Come on now. All right. Now, I already have a mistake on here. What is it? I have to put the x minus 3 in parentheses because I'm subtracting the x and the negative 3, not just the x, okay?
So why don't you just like distribute that?
Yeah, distribute and collect like terms, right? All right, so I have x squared minus x minus 6 minus x plus 3. I have like terms here and here and here and here. So it's x squared.
Wait,
Go ahead.
why
What?
is that x still negative?
Because it's a negative times a positive, which is a negative. And it's a negative times a negative, which is a positive. Yeah, it ends up being C.